Florida, the land of sunshine, beaches, and palm trees. The place where millions dream of retiring, raising families, or just living that easy coastal lifestyle. It's the postcard image of paradise: blue skies, soft sands, and a promise of warmth all year long. But behind that perfect picture lies a harsh truth few talk about. Florida's housing market has turned into one of the toughest, most expensive, and most unstable in the entire country. Between skyrocketing home prices, soaring insurance costs, rising sea levels, and flood-prone developments, the dream of owning a home here is slipping further and further away. So today, we're taking a closer look at the other side of paradise as we count down the top 10 worst cities to buy a house in Florida based on affordability, taxes, insurance, flood risk, and long-term investment potential. At number 10, we start with Tampa, once considered a rising star, a city of growth, opportunity, and affordable living. Just a few years ago, Tampa was the go-to spot for families chasing good jobs, beautiful weather, and reasonable home prices. But that image has changed dramatically. Since 2020, home prices have surged nearly 70%, while local wages have barely moved. The average home now costs over $400,000. And that doesn't even include the massive hit from insurance. After a series of devastating hurricanes and flooding, premiums have exploded, doubling or even tripling for many homeowners. Tampa's geography doesn't help either. Much of the area sits low, with neighborhoods built in flood zones that require costly flood insurance on top of everything else. Property taxes have risen too. And as development pushes further into vulnerable land, the risk is only growing. Tampa still has incredible entertainment, sports, and culture. But for homebuyers, the cost and risk make it one of the most overvalued markets in the state. At number 9, we have Fort Lauderdale, often called the Venice of America, a city of canals, yachts, and glittering high-rises by the sea. On the surface, it's gorgeous, but for homeowners, it's a financial roller coaster. The median home price hovers around $600,000, and that's just the average. Many waterfront properties soar past $700,000 or even $1 million. And because this city sits directly on the Atlantic coastline, flood insurance isn't optional. It's mandatory, and it's expensive. Sea levels are rising, saltwater intrusion is worsening, and storm surges are more frequent than ever before. The salty air corrodes everything: roofs, metalwork, cars, meaning maintenance costs never stop. Combine that with high property taxes, expensive utilities, and choking traffic, and living here becomes more about surviving than thriving. Sure, Fort Lauderdale offers beauty and luxury for those who can afford it, but for the average buyer, the financial burden is enormous, making it one of the worst places in Florida to try and own a home long-term. At number 8, we move to Naples, the crown jewel of the Gulf Coast, famous for its white sand beaches, luxury shops, and golf courses. On the outside, it looks like paradise. But inside that paradise lies a brutal reality. Naples is one of the least affordable housing markets in Florida. The median home price sits close to $1 million, and even modest homes often sell for $500,000 or more. The cost of living is sky high, from groceries to gas to healthcare, and homeowners insurance is among the most expensive in the entire country due to the city's extreme vulnerability to hurricanes and storm surges. While Naples is perfect for the wealthy few seeking luxury and leisure, it's completely unattainable for middle-class families. The city is beautiful, peaceful, and luxurious, but for the average homeowner, it's a financial trap dressed in paradise. At number 7 comes Miami, the heartbeat of Florida. Vibrant, colorful, and full of life. Miami's energy is undeniable. It's global, electric, alive. But that excitement hides a harsh truth. Miami is one of the least affordable housing markets in the entire United States. The average home costs around $650,000, and rent prices have soared to levels where many residents spend more than half their income just to keep a roof over their heads. The city faces serious climate challenges too. Sea levels are rising, and sunny day flooding is already a regular event in some neighborhoods. Many insurance companies have stopped offering coverage in Miami altogether, forcing homeowners to rely on expensive state-backed policies. Add in traffic, high taxes, inflated real estate values, and aging infrastructure, and Miami's glitz quickly fades for those trying to build a stable future. It's a fantastic city to visit or rent in, but for buying, the costs, risks, and future uncertainties make it a dangerous investment. At number 6, we have Orlando, the city of dreams, home to Disney World, Universal, and endless entertainment. For decades, Orlando was seen as a place where families could afford to settle down, work, and grow. But recently, that dream has started to crack. Home prices have jumped dramatically, far outpacing local incomes. And even modest homes now cost around $400,000. With rising insurance rates, property taxes, and homeowners association fees, many residents are struggling to stay afloat. Rapid development has pushed construction into low-lying areas that flood easily, and the city's relentless heat drives up utility bills to unbearable levels. Orlando still holds its magic for tourists, but for homeowners, the illusion of affordability is fading fast, leaving many with a mortgage that feels more like a curse than a dream. At number 5, we arrive at West Palm Beach, once a quiet coastal retreat for retirees, now a playground for luxury buyers and investors. As property values have skyrocketed, locals have been pushed out. The median home price has shot past $500,000, while the average local income hasn't even come close to keeping pace. Flooding remains a serious concern, especially in older parts of the city built on low ground, and insurance premiums are through the roof due to hurricane exposure. Downtown is booming, but that growth has come with higher crime rates and vanishing affordability. West Palm Beach has evolved into a city divided, one of luxury and one of struggle. And for most buyers, the financial strain of living here far outweighs the lifestyle benefits. At number 4, we turn to Sarasota, a city adored for its culture, beaches, and charm, but also one of Florida's most overvalued housing markets. According to recent studies, Sarasota homes are selling for as much as 50% above their true market value, meaning buyers are paying far more than their properties are worth. That's a recipe for disaster when the market eventually cools. Add to that the rising costs of homeowners insurance, HOA fees, and property taxes, and the picture becomes clear. Sarasota's beauty comes with a heavy price tag. The influx of wealthy out-of-state buyers from places like New York and California has made local competition fierce, pushing lifelong residents out of their own neighborhoods. The sunsets may be stunning, but the long-term financial outlook for homebuyers here isn't nearly as bright. At number 3, we find Key West, the southernmost city in the continental United States, and perhaps the most iconic symbol of tropical Florida living. With turquoise water, pastel homes, and endless ocean views, Key West looks like heaven on earth, but financially, it's more like a trap. The median home price exceeds $1 million, and because space is so limited, supply can't meet demand. The salty air corrodes everything: cars, roofs, even air conditioners, making maintenance a constant expense. Insurance costs here are astronomical, often double or triple what you'd pay in other parts of Florida. Even simple repairs or renovations become expensive projects, since materials and labor must come from the mainland. Key West is beautiful beyond words, but unless you have deep pockets, buying here can turn your dream of island living into a never-ending financial nightmare. At number 2 is Cape Coral, a city that, on paper, looks like a dream come true. With scenic canals, modern homes, and what used to be affordable prices, it drew thousands of new residents in recent years. But after Hurricane Ian in 2022, everything changed. The storm tore through the city, destroying homes, flooding neighborhoods, and leaving behind billions in damage. Recovery has been painfully slow and expensive. Many insurance companies pulled out completely, forcing homeowners into costly state insurance programs. Flood risk remains among the highest in the nation. Infrastructure is struggling to keep up with rapid growth, and property taxes are rising fast. While Cape Coral still looks peaceful from afar, beneath the calm surface lies one of the riskiest housing markets in Florida, and a stark reminder that one storm can wipe away years of investment overnight. And finally, at number 1, we reach Jacksonville, the largest city in Florida by land area, and one of the most underestimated when it comes to housing risk. On the surface, Jacksonville seems like a great deal: affordable homes, a growing economy, and a diverse community. But dig deeper, and the problems are hard to ignore. Flooding is becoming more frequent, insurance premiums are climbing rapidly, and many neighborhoods are seeing property values flatten or even decline after years of unsustainable growth. Infrastructure is stretched thin, crime rates are rising in several districts, and insurance carriers are withdrawing from the area. Combine that with high property taxes and an uneven job market, and Jacksonville becomes a city filled with uncertainty, a place where the cost of owning a home can outweigh its long-term value. It might not have the glamour of Miami or the luxury of Naples, but it has the same financial red flags waving loud and clear. So there you have it, the 10 worst cities to buy a house in Florida. From Tampa's inflated market to Jacksonville's hidden risks, it's clear that while the Sunshine State still sparkles with beauty, its housing market is anything but simple. Yes, the beaches are stunning, the skies are blue, and the weather is warm. But owning a home here has become a storm of financial stress. If you're thinking of buying, make sure to do your homework. Research the area. Understand the flood risks, check insurance rates, and think long-term. Because in Florida, the biggest danger might not come from the next hurricane. It might come from your own mortgage. The sunshine may draw you in, but the reality could burn you if you're not careful. If this video opened your eyes to the truth about Florida's housing market, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more real estate insights, and let me know in the comments which Florida city surprised you the most. Until next time, stay informed, stay smart. And remember, in real estate, knowledge is your best protection. Stay sunny, but stay cautious.